As you get older, your skin changes a little bit. As you mature, the texture changes, everything moves a little bit. And so your makeup techniques need to also change and shift with that. I'm gonna show you the do's and don'ts of makeup as you age. I'm going to start with eyebrows. A lot of women choose a shade that's either too dark or too light. Today I'm going to show you what I've seen a lot of women do that maybe we can improve on this technique. I'm going to use our brush, and it's a brush that I'm going to use actually when we do the do's too. And I'm going to pick a color that's a little bit dark. Now oftentimes I see women just do a line that's kind of like this. They blend, try to do it very quick, very easy. It fills in a little bit, but it is very dramatic. It definitely has an intense look to it. Now I'm going to show you with the right color what I would do on the other side. This color is just 1 or 2 shades lighter. As you put on, the brow powder, you can see I'm just following my own hair follicles and bringing it out and following the natural line. I'm not drawing on anything. Now, sometimes your eyebrows get a little thin and you need to. Make sure you use your spoolie part of the brush right here. And that will really fill in those pieces. And it looks very, very natural. Now, you're going to want to go pick a color that's close to your own hair root color. So if you're dyeing your hair, stick within that realm too. And I just used a shade or two darker than what I already have. You saw how quick and easy I did both of them. The technique is very similar, except this one just was like, right, and it's incredibly severe. It's harsh, it's edgy, it's too much. Where this one's much more blended, it's much more natural. It feels like it's my own natural brow. Now I am going to top both of them off with a little bit of brow gel. And again, how you use this brow gel matters. You don't want to stick a ton on there, because if you do, this is what it looks like. And I see lots of women do this, where all of a sudden it looks like their eyebrows are like stuck to their head. And it's because they're pressing too hard, and it doesn't quite look as natural as the other side. So take your time when you're using your brow gel. Moving on to the eyeshadow, I see a lot of women use either a shimmery or a sparkly eyeshadow for the entire eye. So I'll show you with that. I'm going to use this one right here, which has a little bit of pearl in it. So this isn't a matte, but it's not a shimmer, but it has a little bit of pearl. And I'm going to add it to the whole eye. Oops, wrong color. There we go. All right, so now you can see that I've got this wash on and it has a lot of pearl to it. You can see already that it started to fall into some of the texture of my skin, and you can kind of see that it's really emphasizing a few things that maybe we want to emphasize so much. So now I'm going to use the darker color here, the green, because it has a little bit of shimmer in it. And I see women go right into the crease often and not really blend it out. And again, it looks pretty harsh, and it's causing my eye to sink back deeper into itself. And the shimmer on top of the shimmer, I think we could probably do a little bit better. But you know what? I really do want to add a third color. So I am going to add this one right here, which is this medium color, just to kind of tie it in and blend it. I'm not trying to be hideous, but I'm just showing you what I see a lot of women do. They really concentrate on that crease. And then I also see a lot of fallout happening right here in this area. Because the sparkle and the shimmers tend to fall apart a little bit more, it falls into those texture-y places right down here too. So there's that. Now I'm going to show 3 different colors using similar brushes. So this is the big powder brush. I'll show you that. And I'm going to use the color next to it. And this one is a matte right here. And it's just going to be a wash. Now already you can see that this has a softness to it, where the other one has a little bit more of a harshness to it. Nice blended there. And I'm going to use my crease brush, that one. And I'm not going to use the green this time, but I'm going to use the brown. Little dark brown. And I'm going into the crease, but I'm also lifting up onto the brow bone, just a touch. And this is a matte also, which also allows it not to fall into those creases quite so much. And up, you want to think up. I see a lot of people go down. And with all the shimmery colors, it tends to fall rather than lift up. Now with my angles brush, which is this one right here, I'm going to take this gold right here, which does have a little bit of shimmer in it. So it's not, I'm not saying you can't use some shimmer. I'm just saying using shimmer over the whole lid may be a little intense. And it adds a little more contouring. It adds a little bit more depth. And I take this up here and in here. Now I really like the way that that's going, so I'm going to add, with the same brush, I'm going to add a little bit more of the dark brown and just kind of do a V just to give it an exotic more up. Now I'm going to show you also on the other side what that would look like if I did it with this sparkly, and what happens. It brings the line down, and it has some weird flickingness, but I've seen this happen where it just starts to look muddy and not quite put together. So think lighter, think an upward motion, think more mattes, and then highlighting with a few shimmers rather than letting the whole thing be a shimmer because it's way too much. Okay, moving on to probably one of my favorite mistakes and my favorite do's is the eyeliner. Now, I've seen a lot of women take a brown line or take a liner, and this is a dark one, and they start at the corner of their eye and they just draw a straight line like that. I wish I could say I never saw this, but I know you've seen it. But they're not done. What they do is they continue to go underneath the eye and they close the whole thing. They connect it and they try to do. And then they're still not done and they do the waterline with the same dark on the inside. I mean, it's a look, but we've all seen it, particularly with the eyeliner. I think that this is one of the biggest mistakes that people make with the eyeliner. It's kind of like their safety net. They feel like, okay, I've got eyeliner on, I have makeup on, I'm good to go. Which, if you're putting eye makeup on wrong, it really doesn't work either way. You should just not even have worn it. So I'm going to show you how to apply it correctly. By applying in the inner corner of your eye and then just small little strokes. The idea of a good liner is just to make sure those lashes are thicker. You want to have a softer look, a more subtle feel. And if you want to go under, I would, but you could go just to the corner. You don't have to go all the way under. And then I would leave that bottom lid totally open unless you're going out for a party or something. Then maybe I would consider using that waterline with something darker. But most of the time I would keep that really light if I did anything at all. So, I mean, already we're seeing kind of a big difference between our eyes. Now, a thing about mascara, which is what we're going on to next, I've seen a lot of women either wear it too much or too little or not at all, or they do the bottom, or they do the top and not the bottom, or they do everything and it just looks like Tammy Faye Baker, which was a whole look in and of itself, which we want to try and stay away from. The idea is to look really natural and pretty. So I'm going to show you, I'm just going to curl both lashes When you start to put on too much mascara or not enough mascara, it really just starts to clump and bunch. And I've seen a lot of women do this and not really use the right tools to get their lashes separated. So I'm just going to go straight to the mascara. I'm not going to use primer. With this eyeliner hot mess, you can barely even see that it's on, and it's gotten a little bit of clumpy to it. For this one, I like to kind of just brush them out to start out with, get them in a good place to start, and I like to use the spoolie on this brush. I think the idea of mascara is really nice, particularly with the right eyeliner. I mean, the other side looks just so scary to me, but I've seen women do it. Or they'll wear a really light shadow and really dark liner. That also just emphasizes all of the texture that you have around your eyes. You're going to want to try to avoid. And then I just bring my comb back up, comb through, get any little clumpies out, separate a little bit more. Now I think this is a really good level of mascara, but if you feel like I really want more, you can always add more mascara as long as you keep those lashes separated. As soon as they start to clump together, you know that should be your cutting off point and you should just stop because it's too much. And when you have too much, then it starts to get all over your face and then you have a hard time getting it off. And you get big black smudges and it becomes even more problematic. Okay, moving on to the cheeks. Now the cheeks are really a fun one to do too because I see this happen a lot. Women will oftentimes pick a color that's too dark. And I'm gonna pick this color right here. And I'm actually gonna take some off. And they start from their cheek right here and they go all the way back. Get some on there. I do the little sucking cheek thing, and I start blending, and it becomes like a little bit of a scary nightmare. So a really great place and rule of thumb is instead of taking it all the way back to your ear, basically that's what this is, all the way back to my ear, I would pick a shade lighter, and I would just do the apples of my cheeks and lightly blend up. So you want to smile and find out where that is, right here. Then you just lightly blend. So it's not necessarily going all the way back to here like we see here, but it's just got a nice little pop of smiley rosy color. It's not about look at my cheeks and look at my contouring and look at my. It's about just bringing out the color and the beautiful flesh tones that are in your own skin tone, which I really like and I think is really pretty. Okay, lips. We're down to the lips. I love doing my lips, but the reason I love doing them is because we have some really great products that are able to stop our feathering, because I hate feathering, and as I'm getting a little bit older, I've got these little lines right here, and it's just like becoming more and more of an issue. But if you take care of your skin and you really moisturize and you drink lots of water, that will help minimize a lot of that. But also, I've seen a lot of women where they just quickly put on a gloss. Oops, wrong gloss. And it's pretty light. The problem with gloss is it's great for on top of lipstick, but when you use it as the main event, it really starts to, and I'm trying to keep that in check, it really does start to feather as much as you don't want it to. It's kind of a moving target. So you will get feathering with just a straight up gloss. Which we went kind of dark on the eye, so we'll go a little bit lighter on the lip, which, I mean, it just kind of leaves a hot mess for everything. What I like to do is to use our invisible waterproof gel liner and just outline, you can't even see it, the outside of this lip. This helps keep things in check, and it really is a barrier between your lip line and where the feathering starts to happen. It stops the bleeding, literally, in all aspects of that word. And then I add just a regular lip liner. Now I went pretty light on the eyes, so I'm going a little bit darker on the lip. Also just to show some contrast between the other side. Now I always roll that line together so that it can kind of blend in and you don't see a straight up line going all the way around. And then I go ahead and I add my lipstick. It is very pretty. It complements my outfit but doesn't match my outfit perfectly, which is also really important. And then I add probably my favorite with the lipstick world. It's called Lip Lock, and it locks in that lipstick and it doesn't move. Now I know there are other products out there that you could use, but I always find that they roll or they pill or they kind of become a bit of a hot mess after a while. This stuff, hours of wear and you are good. Now I just do one side and then roll it up because a little bit will do ya. Okay, what do you think? Which is the good side, which is the bad side? Now, you may not see everybody use all of these mistakes all at once, but I know that you've seen them being used, at least individually. Somebody goes really heavy on their blush, or they go too light on their lips and it starts to bleed, or you can see it, or their eyebrows are just not quite right with the shape. And I know the eyeliner, we see that every day. Don't get caught in the don'ts. Make sure you do the do's. And if you do, you keep it really light, really easy, really simple, and your true beauty is sure to come out.